What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Darian's Pokemon. Gonna be playing a game on PTCGO. We are starting to mix up content, though. I've got some tabletop games in the works for this weekend. I'm excited about that. I got a bunch of friends coming over, and we're gonna be doing some tabletop games, old school tabletop games, new standard format tabletop games, lots of tabletop stuff. So that should be fun and exciting. And then I'm also going to be vlogging a tournament tonight. It is just a small shop tournament, so that should be fun too, but there's going to be a bunch of good players there, so that should be a lot of fun, and we'll definitely have to stay tuned for that, see how that goes. Now, at this little shop tournament tonight, I plan on playing this Metal Garb deck. Now, this is very similar to Otto's list that he ended up using to get top 64 at some regional championship. Natalie, where was it? It was St. Louis, yep, Collinsville. So had to double check that one. But yes, he used this to get top 64 at Collinsville. I threw a Cobalion in here because I think the Cobalion actually could be really good. And my suspicion is that standard format will start to migrate towards like Espeon decks and Gardy decks. And as you can see, I am squared up against a Gardy deck here. So my opponent is probably not like super stoked on that, but it is what it appears that we are facing. So that is like really good for me. We're going to go straight for this Solgaleo Prism here. Make sure that I do have a decent hand. Yep. I'm going to go straight for the Solgaleo Prism. And my suspicion is if we got Espeon decks and Gardy decks, then Metal decks should fare okay. And this is probably my favorite Metal deck at the moment. So I think that I'm just going to throw a Floatstone onto my Cobalion here, and then a Metal Energy onto my Solgaleo, and just Cynthia that hand right back in, conserve my resources there. Couldn't really think of a good reason to want to just Lily that hand. I'll also set out this Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. We're going to Nest Ball as well, thin my deck a little bit, grab a Trubbish, make sure I have Garbodor in here. I do have a Garbodor in here. Very good. So we're going to grab that Trubbish too. Now I am free to Max Elixir, and probably will want to just Max Elixir to my Dusk Mane Necrozma if I hit it. And we do, so that is excellent too. Throw that on the Dusk Mane. I feel like we just retreat as well into my Solgaleo. Then we're going to stick my opponent with this Parallel, and hopefully that kind of stops them a little bit from being able to accelerate. Now, not accelerate, but stops them from being able to set up their bench as much. They do have the Field Blower in their opening hand, though, so they're just going to go ahead and get rid of that Floatstone, get rid of the Stadium. And you can see that's why I decided to retreat into the Solgaleo, is just in case my opponent did have Floatstone or something like that. You don't want to get stuck with the Cobalion active, and in a situation where you want to get that Solgaleo into the active position. So that was a rough turn one for my opponent. Not what they want at all. Now, it is unfortunate that I got that Ultra Ball there, because I'd much rather have that after the Sycamore, so that maybe I could throw some Metal Energies into the discard pile here. I'm not going to get any sort of mileage out of my Radiant Star attack, so that is a little bit annoying, but my opponent is not doing anything, and I can lock up abilities right now. So I feel like I'm just going to do that. We're going to throw this Fighting Fury Belt onto my Garbodor and just start manually attaching. If my opponent tries to do something where they Guzma my Garbodor, then I'm fine with just Guzmaing this thing out of the active position. I still have 4 Guzma in deck, and we're just going to pass. I can't Radiant Star for any sort of energies, so I'm not going to use it. Now, this deck is a little bit slow. It is a little bit grindy, and I don't like that with this Metal, Garb deck, that you kind of blow up 4 prizes real quickly. Then you have a hard time taking your final 2 prizes. That is a little bit frustrating. See, my opponent 4 went the end there. They did not want to use the end. They decided that they are going to Sycamore and try their best to get set up with a Beacon here. Unfortunately, I do not have an N, and I also do not have I don't have any way to disrupt my opponent's hand. I don't have an energy, so I can't even Guzma knock out this Ralts. But I did top deck the N. So they went for 2 Ralts. That makes me think that, they're just trying to go for the long haul here to set up, but I am not going to Sycamore this hand. I'm actually just going to end because I want to conserve that Guzma, especially in case my Garbodor does get brought up into the active position. Now, we do have a scenario where we can go Energy Switch onto my Dusk Mane and then just Claw Slash. I feel like that could be the play just to try and stop my opponent from setting up. If my opponent does knock out this Dusk Mane Necrozma, then I'm in a fine situation because I can just put the Solgaleo back up, Ultra Ball for a new Dusk Mane, and go from there. So I think I'm going to do it. And yeah, let's just Energy Switch. I mean, it was a little bit of a slow start for us, but even slower for my opponent. So we should be okay. I think putting the Fighting Fury Belt onto the Dusk Mane Necrozma is the play as well. But I don't like that once it... Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Let's just do that. Probably makes it easier and more difficult. Makes it more difficult. Bleh, makes it more difficult for my opponent to knock it out if they do happen to get a Guardy and a Field Blower this turn. So I don't mind that one bit. Got a Garbodor off the top deck there. We're just going off the prize. We're just going to be Ultra Balling that thing away. My opponent promoting the Ralts makes me think that they either have more Ralts in hand or that they have Rare Candy Guardy. They just went ahead and scooped. They probably were just having a rough start. I mean, honestly, when a Gardevoir deck does not get to use Bridget on the first turn, that is just really, really bad for them. We're going to roll one more game with this Dusk Mane Garb deck, see if we could do anything cool, see if we can get that Cobalion some action. My thought process behind the Cobalion is that it can knock out Garbodors, which could be pretty annoying for this deck to deal with, because even though we resist Psychic, you don't want to have to discard 3 energy every time you're knocking out a Garbodor. So my thought process is that with the Cobalion, so long as they've taken at least 3 prizes, you can go in with Cobalion and start using its revenge attack to take knockouts on Garbodors. So that's really good. You can knock out back-to-back Garbodors, especially if you have not played too many items. Then you'll really have some good opportunities to take prizes with it. So I think it's just a nice way to clean up the game as well. We do have 2 copies of that Registeel, so just having a bunch of non-EX attackers, non-GX attackers, can be really powerful when combined with Garbodor. So here we go. We're playing against the Sylveon deck. This should be another layup. Oh, yeah, for our Metal deck. This is what I'm talking about. So I think the Metal is poised pretty good. Like I've said, it just seems like Volcanion is not really super on the map right now. I should be okay here because we're just going to go get our Solgaleo Prism. And then, yeah, we should be able to just accelerate every turn so long as my opponent has 1 bench Pokemon. I have to imagine that they're going to put a bench Pokemon into play. So, yep, let's get that Solgaleo Prism right on out. And I think that I don't have any way to get that Dusk Mane out of the active position, so that's a little bit annoying. But I think I'm going to start by Ultra Balling away these 2 Metal Energies, so I get them in the discard pile. That's going to make it easier for my dude to accelerate. And then I think we just get this Registeel here and probably just have these both as options to accelerate to each other. I think that probably makes the most sense. So that will be extremely difficult for my opponent to deal with. And then I think that I just don't use Fighting Fury Belts here. I don't really see any reason to do that. Probably just going to start off with an N. And sure enough, yeah, we've got Floatstone, we've got Max Elixir. This is a fantastic starting hand for me. I'm pretty much just going to throw, I think, probably the Registeel into the active position. Seems like the best play. My opponent is not, by any stretch of the imagination, going to be benching probably more than 1 EV at a time because they see that Solgaleo Prism right there. So I think that we just Floatstone, retreat into that thing, and then just put the ball in my opponent's court. I'm going to parallel them as well, and then probably also Max Elixir. Oh yeah, we got it. So throw that onto my Duder as well, and then just see what my opponent has got. I need to be a little bit careful here with my own Floatstones. Like ideally, I want to have float stones on everybody. I'm not going to attach that energy just so that I have it to accelerate next turn. But ideally, I want float stones on everybody so that they can all just retreat from each other. You know that my opponent is probably going to be... Oh, gosh, they just got turn 1 delinquent my hand away. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably shouldn't have played that stadium down now that I'm thinking about it. So we are just ultimately stuck. Oh, my goodness. I guess I didn't really see that coming, but that's okay. I mean, we win some, we lose some. So now we are just stuck here, kind of just spinning our wheels, waiting for my opponent to either just start, I don't know, just hammering away at my board position, or for me to top deck an energy. And then we start cruising. Sure enough, we got another Cynthia, so that is fine. We are out of out of this one quicker than we probably should have been. Oh, my opponent's mad. You mad, bro? Yeah, you delinquent my hand away. I mean, you started a busted delinquent hand. I didn't see that coming. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead, do this turbo arm, and I probably I could max elixir to my bench Dusk Mane 2 to kind of expedite things a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Yep. Hit another max elixir. My opponent is probably not super pleased. And let's turbo arm. Start accelerating to this boy here. 60 damage too. So my opponent low-key needs to start kind of healing that thing too. Because, I mean, I could just get to a point where I just claw slash to death as well. Claw slash does 120 damage. If I put a Fury Belt on it, claw slash is doing 140. Which does actually knock out this Sylveon this turn, but I don't have a way to get this Registeel out of the active position. That is what I'm the most scared of with this matchup, is just having my Registeels get stuck active, having some Pokemon get stuck active. You see, I've already got 2 Floatstone down, so that's not good. I definitely only have 2 Floatstone left. I could win this game, though. I do win the game because I'm just going to energy switch up and we do it. So good game to my opponent. We've got there with Iron Hand. So, whoop, sorry, dude. Definitely got lucky there with drawing out of your crazy turn 1 delinquent, which I should have seen coming. I should not have played that parallel down in hindsight, but I can't say that I practice against Sylveon decks every day, and I actually didn't know that delinquent was even in there. It does make sense, though. You want to be able to discard cards from your opponent's hand. So that's, I mean, we've gone 2-0 with this deck. It's looking pretty cool so far. I think I'll roll one more game, so we're going to go for the third here. Just because, I mean, those 2 games were both pretty quick going. So we'll roll the third game here, see what we get paired against, see if we get paired against something that isn't a fairy deck. Obviously, fairy decks, pretty good matchups for our metal boys here. I'm wondering if we can actually do decent versus something that is not a fairy deck. So unfortunately, this could be Greninja. I saw some water there. I mean, I guess it could be Glaceon as well. If this is Greninja, this is not a good matchup for our boys if we are playing against a Greninja deck, just straight up. I don't really even know what we do against Greninja, honestly. Probably just have to go in with our non-EX attackers, set up Garb, and hope for the best, and then maybe try to finish some things off with Dusk Mane. I really don't even know. So let's just put down one of these and then see where we're at here. We got a turn 1 Lily hand. That's awesome. So definitely stoked on that. Looks like we're playing against Glaceon. All right. Like I said, dude, Metal is just busted in this metagame. 2 fairy decks and another Metal Weak deck just right off the top. Like, this is fantastic. I could not ask for anything better. So let's just go in. I mean, I'm just going to say, you know what? We don't even need that Registeel out there. Like, we're just going to go in for a quick Meteor Tempest and then go from there. And I don't think that I'll need that Floatstone there. So let's Lily for 8 cards, 8 big ones. That is awesome. I love that. We can actually Ultra Ball away 2 Metal Energies as well. Get another Pokemon. Probably end up throwing this Trubbish down too. I like that. And then let's Ultra Ball 2 Metal Energies away just so that we have probably a Metal Energy and an N. I'll do that. We'll Ultra Ball, I don't know. I'm feeling a little greedy. We'll Ultra Ball both of these away. And then we're going to go get our Solgaleo Prism. So that is just amazing. Now our board position is just stunting. Like, that's as good as we could possibly want. Do we get, oh my gosh, we've got a 3 energy Dusk Mane on the first turn. Oh, my opponent's got to be a little salty about that. So I think I'm just going to apply, I mean, I could just apply all the pressure in the world and put that Dusk Mane in the active position, but I'm not going to do that. I have a Float Stone in hand. If my opponent hits the turn 1 Field Blower on my Registeel, then I'll just drop that Float Stone and go from there. And they scoop it up too. They want nothing to do with this hotness. So, I mean, I can't really blame them. This deck seems to be drawing just pure flames right now. I don't know if I could actually get a good game with this thing at this point. I don't know. We'll try one last game. I just got a little bit of time left before I have to get to that event, but I'm going to try and squeeze in one more game here with the Dusk Mane deck. We've gone 3-0 so far, but haven't really had any good quality games, so I'm going to try and pull a good quality game out. I actually had a game earlier where my opponent used Armor Press, but I think they used Armor Press. Like, I'm pretty sure they used Armor Press, but then I went and used my 220 attack, and it still did 220, even though it was supposed to only do 200. Like, I was supposed to be short. So that was a weird thing. I don't know if that's a glitch or if I just did not recognize what my opponent had done. Maybe I spaced out, so that was super odd. Looks like we are actually playing against a metal deck. Wonder if this is a sort of mirror situation. That would be crazy. Or it could be Metagross. I've seen a couple Metagross decks. This is Silvally Metal. So throwback to like London. Silvally Metal was popular at the London National Championships, the European International Championships. So that is crazy. Crazy little flash to the past there. I think that we are going to want to thin my hand down here. I have 3 Ultra Balls in hand, so that is like super weird. And do a turn 1 Lily. So if we Ultra Ball those, we think that I actually probably should have kept that Cobalion in my hand, so oops. But if we Ultra Ball that and that, then yeah, I'm stuck in a hand with, that's fine. So let's just Ultra Ball away, Ultra Ball and Guzma, I think, and then attach. No, we definitely want to get rid of this metal energy. Yep. And then we'll keep the Guzma. Yep. So that's fine. And then we want to get ourselves probably a Dusk Mane. Let's get the Dusk Mane here. Throw him out into play. And we're probably trying to get ourselves a turn 1 Turbo Arm. That would be fantastic. So Lily for 6 big ones. See if we can get ourselves an energy. Oh, yeah. We got there. So that is good. Golden. And we could Ultra Ball away. No, that's probably not worth it. I was going to say we could probably Ultra Ball away another Metal Energy and a Guzma or something. Retreat into my Prism and then accelerate 2, but I can't accelerate 2 because my opponent only has 1. Bench Pokemon right now, but potentially it could be better for me in the long run, but I feel like I actually have an opportunity to knock out this Cobalion with the Registeel. Could be good, so I think I like that. Let's just attach this to the Registeel here. I don't think I need to Ultra Ball for one more thing. Like, I could get myself that Trubbish. Let's just do it. Let's go get the Trubbish. So we'll get both those Guzmas out of here. Go get the Trubbish. Sure. And we're going to bench him and Turbo Arm. Turn 1, 30 damage, accelerating the Metal Energy. Good to go there. Let's grab that metal. Throw it onto my benched Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. Cool. Now, I don't think there's like a fire thing, right? Is there, Natalie?
What?
Is there a fire thing for Silvally?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, right? What are they called?
Fire memory.
Fire memory. Oh my gosh, there's a fire memory. Yeah, so I do need to be a little bit wary of fire memory if my opponent runs that. Hopefully, I get myself into a situation where I could just, oh no! They're gripping the fire energy, aren't they? The fire memory, aren't they? That would be insane. They are not gripping the fire memory, fortunately. So they are just going to do 120 damage to my Necrozma. Super annoying, but I should be fine. I'm just going to attach the Float Stone there, go back into my Registeel there, and accelerate another energy. So that is the game plan. We've got Garbodor 2, even to boot, so that is good. And I'll just attach, and unless they have it, unless they have like Guzma again, then I should be okay. But even with Guzma, they don't have free retreat on that Cobalion with my Garbodor active. So let's see, can we just Turbo Arm, then maybe Cynthia next turn, and get the knockout. If my opponent does knock out this Registeel somehow, though, I do have the Meteor Tempest or the Suns Eclipse GX just locked and loaded, ready to go. So a little bit of a, kind of rocky setup for my opponent, I would say. I don't think this is necessarily what they want to be doing on the second turn of the game, but maybe it is. No, they do have another Guzma, but do they have a way to retreat this thing? They have, oh my gosh, they do. What in the world is reality? Their hand is just Guzmas. They have nothing else. Oh, boy. Okay, boy howdy. That one card in their hand is probably not a draw supporter, but I have to imagine at this point, like, they are probably going to draw supporter off of either their 2 cards here or their top deck for next turn, and I am just in a grinder scenario, so that is not good. Not good at all. Let's see. We want to probably throw this Fighting Fury Belt onto my Registeel, maybe so I can get a decent amount of mileage out of him, though I don't think it makes a difference. My opponent could GX this Registeel, but that doesn't really seem like the best play for them. I think I'll save the Fighting Fury Belt for one of my Dusk Manes, but we did not get one, so that's weird. We are going to have to accelerate to Cobalion, okay, and then I think that I just save these to Max Elixirs for in case I need them to do something up late game. We are just in a world of pain right now. This is not good. We did not need to get our Duder knocked out. Now, hopefully, by some miracle, my opponent has not top-decked out of this little supporter. I imagine that they're in a supporter drought. I mean, maybe they just are gripping it. Maybe they just, that last card in their hand the whole time was a Sycamore. And yep, there it is. Oh, let them rip. They were fine the whole time. Just Guzma, Sycamore. Okay, take out the only threat on my opponent's side of the field, and then Yakimore away. Oh boy, I think we could still pull this one out, though, as weird as that is. My opponent goes up on prizes too quickly. Then Cobalion is starting to put in some work, which is good. They also don't have a way to knock out this Registeel this turn. And I have kind of made it hard for them to have any sort of mobility with my own Garbodor. I'm not sure how many field blowers, if any, they play. So we could be in the clear here doing okay. But hopefully they don't drop any sort of fire memory. If they drop a fire memory, I'm going to be tilted like sideways, like completely horizontal. So they are accelerating. Maybe they'll attack with the Rangaroo. Maybe one day. Let's see. We just have to end my opponent to 4 cards. That seems fine. There's no reason to play any of these Max Elixirs. So let's just do that. See if maybe we can get a Dusk Mane. We do get a Dusk Mane. And sure enough, we've got 2 Max Elixirs back. So I think that I actually want to thin my deck by using this to get a Dusk Mane. That probably is the best way to do this. Oh, I can't get a Dusk Mane. Okay, so then I think we're just going to fail that. And then, yep, so we're going to be done there. And then I'm just going to bench this one here. And I think we try to Max Elixir this turn. Hope my opponent doesn't have a Guzma. There's 1 Max Elixir there. That's good. If we can get the second Max Elixir, then we're in a position. Yep. Great. Fantastic. Now we can actually GX my opponent next turn. So I'm going to Turbo Arm again. Then we've got a bunch of options because I could just go up with this Cobalion to clean up that active Silvally there. And I think I'm going to be doing 120. They take 3 prizes. I'm doing 120 damage. That's cool for me. Have a Float Stone. So even though I don't have a supporter, I do at least have free retreat and can pivot wherever I need to go, which is good. They're Ultra Balling, setting up that second Silvally GX. I don't think they just got 1 Metal Energy in the discard pile. Cobalion's going to be doing, 120 damage. Do they have a supporter? They got a Cynthia. Okay, so they are continuing to rock and roll and draw. Fortunately, it was not a Guzma. I would have been super salty if they hit into my beautiful, clean second Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. I would have definitely been turbo salty if they had done that. So thankfully they did not. They are just going to go along with the game plan here, knock out this Registeel. Then I can go up with Cobalion, knock out this Silvally, and then they don't have a good way to knock out my Cobalion. I mean, I could... Ugh, that seems a little bit sketchy. I probably go up and GX them, but if I go up and GX them, they could come up and hit me with Cobalion. Then I could retreat and knock them out with Cobalion, with my Cobalion. That, or I go up with the Cobalion, then they can't knock my Cobalion out with their Cobalion. So this should be the play. Okay. And, yep, 3, 6, 9, 12. All right, we've got our own Fighting Fury belt. That's good. I don't really want to play it yet. I want to just stay the course. Let's just Revenge Blast, knock out this Silvally, and then see what my opponent does. Kind of put the ball in their court. They're still ahead on me on prizes, so I still have the option. Cynthia, Metal Energy, oh yeah! I still have the option to blow them up with a Sun's Eclipse GX, which is really good for me. Then it might come down to this weird like battle of the Cobalions. Even if they do have a Guzma in this hand, they can't knock out my Dusk Mane. I don't think that they have any way to do that. I've only taken 2 prizes. They're only doing like not enough. They're just not doing enough damage. So I could go, if they don't Guzma, they end. All right, so I should be cool almost no matter what. Like I have an option to win the game no matter what happens here, because I could just go up with this Dusk Mane, blow that thing up. 120. Oh, I misread Turbo Drive. I thought it did 110, like the old school Manectric EX. So I didn't think that Cobalion was going down, but I still should be okay because I GX them here, and then we go for a Sun's Eclipse on, I don't know, my opponent's bench Pokemon for game or something. So I think that is the play. I could go get my Prism here, but I don't think that that's worth it. I think I just go for it and hope that this buffs out. I mean, Nest Ball, I'm not even sure what I'm getting with Nest Ball that would even be worth it. Like, if I go down to 2 prizes, then my opponent could do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. They could do 180 damage with that Cobalion. That's, like, super sketchy, actually. I don't like that at all. I might be stuck here, guys. Might be a little bit stuck, so that could be not good. But we're going to try it out anyway. Let's throw that up there. Then let's Nest Ball and see if we can't get, the Solgaleo Prism. He seems like a beefy dude. I like him. And then I think we're just going to grip this energy situation and kind of just figure things out. So let's just Sun's Eclipse GX. We got to do it. Unfortunately, we've got to do that. And then I don't want to discard for knockout on my opponent's Cobalion. Like, I don't want to do that at all, but I might have to. Alternatively, I retreat into my own Solgaleo Prism and then attach the Metal Energy and end my opponent. I think like that could be a valid option because I probably can't just hope that my opponent doesn't get a third energy. I definitely have to try and limit them in some way while trying to build up my bench Dusk Mane Necrozma. But this thing is just doing so much damage at this point, and they have gotten better use out of their Cobalion. They will have gotten more use out of their Cobalion than I will have gotten out of mine. Mine went down too early. So maybe I should have done something where I like, oh, they got Field Blower too. Oh, goodness. Maybe I should have done something where I attacked with the Cobalion on a different turn and went up and used the GX to knock out that Silvally GX on my opponent's side. But I don't know. This is an interesting deck that my opponent's got going on. Definitely don't mind it. It's pretty cool. So let's see if we can, and we have to pay to retreat. That is like a super bummer. So I think we just go here, and then let's just end. Hope my opponent doesn't have it, and go from there. I don't think I can energy switch. Nope, I can't just bank on hitting the float stone. I could bank on hitting a float stone. That would be pretty rad. But, yep, let's just try it. And then it'd be rad off an end at 2. I mean, that's definitely a sick draw. I didn't, and I could have put the Trubbish down, but it's okay. All right, so we could win the game here, I think, right? I don't know. No, I'm only accelerating 2. Oh, I think I'm just stuck. Let's retreat into, the Solgaleo. I think we're just stuck. Let's see. Opponent's doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Actually, they missed the knockout on the Solgaleo. So, unless they have Guzma or something. Oh my gosh. And actually, I misread. We're cool. I misread Solgaleo Prism altogether. I thought it was just for bench Pokemon. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry, guys. This Solgaleo accelerates 1 for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. Oh, that shows how much I've played this deck. Not enough. That is insane. So now we're on a 1-turn clock. If my opponent doesn't have win right here, right now, then I've got it next turn. I've got Guzma Energy. Going to bring up that Silvally GX, knock it out. Dude, this Solgaleo Prism is way better than I thought. I don't know why I thought it was bench Pokemon only. It's the active too. I know you guys at home are probably screaming at me through the screen, but that is nuts. Okay, so that is pretty cool. Definitely way better than I thought. And good thing I got this figured out before I ended up going to the tournament tonight. Yes, that I am leaving for in like 2 minutes. Oh no, they got Guzma. They're getting the Guzma. Okay, my opponent's got game here, unfortunately. They show me the Guzma, they've got it, but still pretty solid performance. I'm not upset about it. They ended up being able to use that Oranguru there to draw, so cool stuff. And, we couldn't quite get there. So good game to my opponent. I'm going to go ahead and scoop this one up. We ended up going 3-1 with this deck, though. And for 3 of those games, I didn't even know that the Solgaleo Prism accelerates for all your opponent's Pokemon in play, not just the bench. So super cool deck. I think it has potential. Cobalion seems pretty good. Shout out to my last opponent there, too, because Silvally Metal could be another way to play Metal for sure. But anyways, thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel. Check out all the links in the description below. Peace.